Welcome to the Business English Podcast, where we help non-native English professionals master the language of business. I'm your host, Rob, and today we're diving into a crucial topic that can elevate your professional communication skills, requesting more care in your tasks. Have you ever felt you need to ask someone to be more thorough but didn't know how to phrase it without sounding too critical? Or maybe you've been in a situation where attention to detail was paramount and you needed everyone on your team to step up their game. Well, today we've got you covered. We're going to explore 6 essential phrases that will help you communicate the need for meticulous attention in a way that's both professional and effective. These are the kind of phrases that can make a real difference in meetings, during office tasks, presentations, and even high-stakes formal scenarios. But before we get into those phrases, let's talk briefly about why this is so important. In any professional environment, clear and respectful communication is key. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Using the right phrases can help you maintain a positive tone and encourage cooperation from your colleagues. Think about it. How often do we need to ensure that every detail is perfect, especially when working on significant projects or preparing for important presentations? And what happens when we don't communicate this need effectively? That's right, mistakes can slip through the cracks and the quality of our work can suffer. In this episode, you'll learn how to convey the need for thoroughness without stepping on anybody's toes. We'll break down each phrase, repeat it for emphasis, explain when and how to use it, and provide a contextual example. By the end of this episode, you'll have 6 powerful phrases in your business English toolkit that you can start using right away. So, are you ready to enhance your communication skills and ensure your work gets the attention it deserves? Stay tuned because we're about to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business English Podcast, helping professionals communicate more effectively, more confidently, and with impact. With your host, Rob, from Energetic English. Let's get down to business. Now, why is this so important? Well, in any professional setting, the way you communicate can make or break your success. It's not just about getting the job done, it's about getting it done right. You need to ensure that every detail is perfect, especially when dealing with high-stakes projects, important presentations, or critical communications. But how do you ask for this extra level of attention without sounding overly critical or demanding? That's what we're going to explore here today. We'll cover 6 phrases that will help you request more thoroughness in a professional and effective manner. These phrases are perfect for meetings, office tasks, presentations, and more. But before we dive into those, let's set the stage with some principles and techniques. First, it's essential to understand that clear communication is the backbone of professional success. When you need more care taken in a task, it's crucial to convey this without undermining your colleagues' efforts or causing friction. The key is to be polite, positive, and specific. Think about the last time a project didn't turn out as expected because small details were overlooked. How could that outcome have been different if you had communicated the need for thoroughness more effectively? Keep this scenario in mind as we go through today's content. So how do you achieve this balance? Start by framing your request in a way that emphasizes collaboration and shared goals. Instead of saying, "You missed this," try, "Let's make sure we cover this." It's a subtle shift, but it makes a big difference. It turns the focus from individual blame to collective responsibility. Another technique is to use positive language. Words like ensure, double check, and attention carry a constructive tone. They suggest thoroughness and care without implying incompetence. For instance, saying, "Can we double check this to make sure it's solid?" sounds collaborative and supportive. Now, let's think about a high-profile scenario. Imagine you're about to present to a key client. The stakes are high and you need everything to be perfect. How do you communicate to your team that every detail matters? We'll cover the exact phrases for this in just a bit, but I want you to keep the situation in the back of your mind as we move forward. Lastly, remember to be specific in your requests. Vague statements can lead to misunderstandings. Instead of saying, make sure it's good, be precise. Let's ensure we've checked all the details on the financial report. Specificity leads to clarity and, of course, better results. In just a moment, we'll dive into those 6 essential phrases. We'll break each one down, repeat it for emphasis, and provide a real-world example of how to use it. By the end of this episode, you'll be equipped with the practical tools to enhance your professional communication. Stay tuned because these phrases are game changers. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to effectively request more care in professional tasks. Okay, so let's get into the phrases. These phrases will be your go-to tools for ensuring thoroughness without sounding overly critical when it matters most. Ready to get started? Let's jump in. Phrase 1. Let's make sure we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's on this one. Repeat after me. Let's make sure we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's on this one. This phrase is perfect for situations where every small detail matters. Imagine you're in a project meeting and your team is reviewing the final draft of a report. You want to ensure that everything is perfect before submission. You might say, let's make sure we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's on this one. It's a friendly reminder to pay attention to every little detail, reinforcing the importance of precision without sounding harsh. Phrase 2. Can we double check this to make sure it's solid? Now, repeat after me. Can we double check this to make sure that it's solid? This phrase is ideal for ensuring accuracy and reliability. Let's say you're about to send an important email to a client. You know how crucial it is for the information to be correct. So you might ask a colleague, can we double check this to make sure it's solid? This shows your commitment to quality and thoroughness, encouraging your team to take that extra step. Phrase 3. Please make sure we're covering all our bases here. Repeat after me. Please make sure we're covering all our bases here. This phrase is all about ensuring comprehensive coverage. Picture yourself in a strategic planning meeting. You want to ensure that all aspects of the project are considered. You could say, please make sure we're covering all our bases here. This phrase helps remind everyone to think broadly and consider all possibilities, promoting a thorough approach to the task at hand. Phrase 4. Can you give this the once-over before we proceed? Repeat after me. Can you give this the once-over before we proceed? This phrase is useful for quick but thorough reviews. Suppose you're finalizing a presentation. Before moving forward, you want a colleague to check for any immediate issues. You could say, can you give this the once-over before we proceed? It's a polite way to ask for a review, ensuring that any last-minute mistakes are caught. Phrase 5. I'd like us to handle this with a bit more TLC. Repeat after me. I'd like us to handle this with a bit more TLC. So, TLC is tender, loving care. Once again, tender, loving care. This phrase adds a touch of warmth, emphasizing care and attention. Imagine you're working on a delicate project that requires extra attention. You might tell your team, I'd like us to handle this with a bit more TLC. This conveys the need for meticulous care and encourages everyone to approach the task with extra caution and attention to detail. Phrase 6. Let's make sure we're giving this the attention it deserves. Repeat after me. Let's make sure we're giving this the attention it deserves. This phrase is perfect for emphasizing importance and focus. Suppose you're in a high-profile client meeting and the stakes are high. You need to ensure that everyone is fully focused. You could say, let's make sure we're giving this the attention it deserves. This phrase underscores the importance of the task and motivates your team to prioritize it. These 6 phrases are powerful tools that can transform your professional communication. They help you request thoroughness and care in a way that's collaborative and positive. Keep practicing them and you'll find they become second nature in your daily interactions. Up next, we'll wrap up with some final tips to reinforce what you've learned today. But before we get there, think about how you can start incorporating these phrases into your work. How will they change the way you communicate with your team? Stay tuned for some key takeaways and a quick recap. As we approach the end of today's episode, let's recap the key takeaways and leave you with some final tips to ensure you're getting the most out of these professional phrases. First, remember the power of clear and specific communication. Each phrase we've discussed today isn't just about the words themselves, but how they help convey the need for thoroughness in a respectful and effective manner. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice these phrases, the more naturally they'll come to you. Start incorporating them into your daily work conversations. Think about the next meeting or task review where you can use them. Imagine how these phrases can help you improve the quality of your work and build stronger professional relationships. Number 2, tone and delivery matter. Always pay attention to your tone. Even the best phrase can fall flat or cause misunderstandings if delivered in a way that seems critical or demanding. Aim for a tone that is supportive and collaborative. Number 3, be open to feedback. When you start using these phrases, observe how your colleagues respond. Are they more receptive? Do they understand your requests better? Use their feedback to refine your communication style further. Remember, effective communication is a two-way street. Number 4, stay positive and encouraging. Emphasize shared goals and teamwork. For instance, instead of saying, "We need to do better," try, "Let's ensure we're giving this the attention it deserves." This keeps the conversation positive and focused on improvement. As you continue to practice and refine these phrases, you'll notice a significant improvement in how your requests for more care are received. You'll foster a more collaborative and detail-oriented work environment, ultimately leading to better outcomes. Well, thank you for joining me on the Business English Podcast. I hope you found these tips and phrases valuable for enhancing your professional communication. Remember, mastering these phrases can significantly improve the quality of your work and help you build stronger relationships with your colleagues. Before we wrap up, here's a quick challenge for you. In the next week, try using at least 2 of these phrases in your daily work interactions. Notice the difference in how your requests are received and the positive impact it has on your projects. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the Business English Podcast so you never miss out on the latest tips and insights. And if you found this episode helpful, please leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more professionals just like you. Once again, thank you for listening, keep practicing, and of course, keep it strictly business.
You have been listening to the Business English Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and we'll see you next time.